So the question is, do Charlo redeem himself, establish his name after that bad performance with Canelo? Is it about the legacy or is it about the money? Well, we all going to say it's always about the money because it's prize fighting, right? But we can't forget about building your name back and your stock back up. And, you know, I remember Charlo saying after the fight with Canelo that he's only looking for big fights. He's looking for Crawford. He's looking for, you know, just big fights. And I'm just saying that he has the key to handicap a situation at 154 and make things worse, or he could make things better for himself. At 154, you got background his IBF Manatory, and if I can recall, I think he has 30 days or he's going to get stripped of his IBF belt. Then, I mean, which one is it? Is it the money or is it the legacy? Because, brother, you could be two-time undisputed again, right? At the same division. Nothing wrong with that, right? But you can always establish your name. So why would you get stripped, drop your IBF belt? Fine, you only have 2 belts left. Fine, right? But you could end up fighting Tim Tszyu and be undisputed again, right? And Tim Tszyu could also have the chance to be undisputed, right? The winner, right? So why would you get stripped if now you got the money, you got the 10, the 15, whatever million you got, your money is in the bank. I know you're looking for big fights. Also, Crawford is looking for big fights. He is. But I'm saying, you're not going to Australia to fight Tim Tszyu to get big money, right? So it's one or the other. Is it about the money or the legacy? Now, I hope I am wrong, and because I feel that he's going to just let the belt release. He's going to release the belt. He's just going to release the belt, you know, make things, you know, stupidity and dotish in the 154 division, because he won't fight his mandatory back around. And I feel that that's a good fight. I mean, if you look at it, it's like you go back to 154, right? Because, you know, people are not giving you a chance coming back down to 154 after you went up to 168. Get back there, fight your mandatory, keep busy, right? Establish your name, your brand, your stock back. And then you could end up fighting Tim Tszyu for undisputed. Sounds beautiful. But, you know, things don't work out that way. You know, I'm trying to figure out what the big black American stud gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Terrence Crawford, he wants big fights. Now, would Terrence Crawford go to Australia? Because that's the only time I think that's the only way he's going to get a big fight with Tim Tszyu. Because he's making his money over there, right? And it will be a big fight in Australia. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, let's take one step at a time. Would Charlo keep his belts and not drop one and get into this fight? Because, you know, the way I see it, back around, he already took step-aside money. He been to mandatory 2 to 3 years, right? If I could recall, I was looking it up, and I'm like, wait a minute. He stepped aside for you, right, to fight Canelo, Charlo, right? He stepped aside. So, at the end of the day, yeah, there's nothing you could get from back around but a tune-up fight if you believe that man is a tune-up. But see, you know what I say? It's not what they say, it's what they're not saying. So if he do not decide to fight back around, and if I'm saying his name right, I'm trying to pronounce it right? But if he does not fight him, then why wouldn't you fight him? Because you going back down to 154, going up and down is a struggle, right? But you're going back down, tune up, and place yourself in the position to fight Tim Tszyu for undisputed. But in my mind, I'm like, listen, you want big fights. Don't you want big fights? So what was the big fight you said you wanted? You wanted Crawford. You wanted Crawford. So if I was you, I'll hold those belts. But at the same time, you can be vindictive and say, you know what, I don't want that belt. I got 2 more belts left. You know, we be crooks. They're going to hold me down. The WBA, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not going to be sure if they're going to be the next to strip you. But you could also, you know, throw a wrench in a monkey wrench in the machine and say, you know what, I don't want Crawford or anybody to be undisputed at 154, including myself, Charlo, right? Or you could do the simple thing. Instead of fighting Baccarat, you could go straight into a fight. Because what over trumps? What over trumps Manatories? Unifying and undisputed. Unifying and undisputed trumps this, man. So even though if you got 30 days, you got 30 days, bro. You got to decide. Is it your IBF Manatory? Is it this man, Tim Tszyu? And now both of y'all are even Steven. Y'all both could give each other a chance to be undisputed. You could be a 2-time undisputed just like Crawford. He could be an undisputed champion, Tim Tszyu. But guess this what? You building it, you building your name up, you building your brand up because you got your money already, brother. You got your money. I know you want more. But now, the way you went out on Canelo ain't looking nice, man. Not looking good at all, brother. It don't look good at all. So I'm just saying, if you end up beating Tim Tszyu, like I said, I got Tim Tszyu right now beating Charlo, right? But the moves you make, if you go back and fight your Manatory, and if you beat him, right? Your brand is built, you're building your brand back up, right? Then you fight Tim Tszyu, and you beat, like I said, I got Tim Tszyu right now beating him. And you beat him because you got acclimated back to the weight. You got your body back, say, okay, I'm back here, this is what I'm going to do. And you beat Tim Tszyu. You become a 2-time undisputed. Now, guess what? The money, you just raised your stock and your money, Charlo. You know how you raise your stock and your money, Charlo? Because now you're a 2-time undisputed at 154, and you're fighting another 2-time undisputed. Now we got a plot. Now we got a storyline. And now you also got the fight you wanted, a big fight. The person you called out called Crawford. You called him out. You only won big fights. And the same that Crawford wants. He wants big fights. So you got something that Crawford wants. Right? Also, on top of that, if you beat Tim Tszyu, you're undisputed twice. So now the money's here. It's going to even be more because this is going to be a big fight. We both know y'all do not like each other, and that's as far as it's going to go. We're not going over there with Canelo. We're not dealing with that right now. Not at all. We're worried about Crawford fighting Charlo. Could be a 3-time. That would be great. Right? And then that kind of pressure will be put on Canelo and what he's going to do. Now, Showtime and PBC, yeah. You know, I really don't talk about if you ever look at my videos, I really never talk about the videos. But, you know, Crawford and Spence, it should happen maybe in February, maybe in March, maybe in April. As long as they get a network, right, that wants it. Because the PBC has nothing to do with that. I think PBC had nothing to do with that in the first place. It's the network Showtime picked it up. So I don't know if they're going to do a deal on the side because that Crawford and Spence do deserve a rematch. He do deserve a rematch. Like I always say, he do deserve a rematch. Now, do I feel like the rematch should happen? Yes. Where do I want it to happen? At 154. That's where I want it to happen, right? But it seemed like in the contract it should happen in December. In the contract, the other party's supposed to write down that they can't make 147 and they want it at 154. So in my mind, if Crawford is like, listen, man, I need to skip the line. You know, we don't got no network. We don't got no PBC. But at the same time, I'm like, Al Heyman had nothing to do with that fight. Spence felt like he was getting played. He got himself a manager company. And the manager company and Crawford and his business on his side, they got the deal done with Showtime. So there's a contract that needs to be obligated. Whether if it's the zone, It's set up in the Zone Network, Prime. I don't care. I just want to see the fight. And Spence, it owe it to Spence. Now, if the fight happens at 147 and Crawford decides, listen, man, this shit should have happened. You voided. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't put it in writing. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. The fight's supposed to be in December. That didn't happen either. Hey, he has the reason to say, I won at 147 just to say that I really don't want the fight. You, Errol, because I know you really don't want it at 147. You want it at 154. But in the contract, the straps are there for you for an option. That's why we are not seeing Crawford fights Boot Ennis. That's why we see him not going up and fighting Tim Tszyu at the moment right now. There's a standstill with Crawford. So I'm just dealing with Tim Tszyu and Charlo at the moment. And I'm saying, if you go this way, Charlo, you could get two. You could knock two birds with one stone. You could rebuild your stock, your name, right? Just like Charlo's supposed to do at 160. Because this is what I'm trying to do. Jermell Charlo is going to fight at 160. Jose Benavidez, right? So there's a lot on the line with your name. There's a lot on your line with your name and your stock and kittens growing up to be lions. That's all I'm saying. But on your side, because I don't see you moving up to 160 where you're going to get a belt. Are you going to fight your brother? That's a big fight. That's a big fight, right? I mean, y'all squabbling and y'all ain't got your shit together. Y'all not really tight, right? And shit like that. But that's something I don't even want to get into. I really don't want to see that. But if it comes down to that, if that's what it is, you know, that's a whole nother story. Brothers fighting and shit like that. But at 154, if you do what you're supposed to do, you don't have to fight your IBF mandatory. Just go into a Tim Tszyu fight. But if you feel like going back down is an issue, fight your IBF mandatory. You got 30 days to figure this shit out. Get your shit ready, man, for next year, 2024. Fight that man. If you beat that man, boom. You finish your mandatory. Now, you fight Tim Tszyu. And like I said, if you don't want to fight this man, undisputed, unifying trumps mandatory. So either way, you're the man that's going to have to make the decision. And like I said, if there's an if in everything, if you beat Tim Tszyu, you're two-time undisputed. Two-time versus two-time. Woo, I can see the thumbnail now. Two-time versus two-time. Oh, that's the fight that everybody want to see. Everybody want to see. I can see me right now making a video with Crawford saying, yo, you a bitch ass nigga. After he knocked down Errol Spence, I put that thumbnail. Oh, I'll loop that shit. Woo, I'm going to loop it. And you, brother, you going to be two-time undisputed? Oh, that would be great. But guess what? The only way we can figure this shit out is if you get in there and do what you're supposed to do and rebuild your stock and brand. But as now, I got Tszyu beating you. Now we got Jose Benavidez, and this man that's been a champion at 160 for so long, but been out for 2 years, right? I think he's another one. Yo, and they be complaining about WBO, and they complain about, you can't have it all, brother. You can't have it all. Jermell's complaining about the WBO stripping him, but at the same time, Jermell been at 154 with his undisputed belts for a long time, and his hand and this. I don't want to go through it. We all know what the storyline is, right? And we know Canelo, he could go up and do whatever he wants and keeps his belts. There's different sides to the game, right? We all know this. But bro, I want to hear something from you. You're going to have to figure this out. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong that you're not going to drop your IBF belt. Because once you drop your IBF belt, well, you still got something to offer to Crawford. You still could make him a 4-division unified champion. Okay, that's one. That's like I said, if he doesn't want to fight you, Charlo, because he said that you had a bad performance up there with Canelo, hey, even if he could fight Tim Tszyu and still be a 4-division champion and keep his WBO belt, right? And take that WBO belt. That makes him want to go up, which I know he ain't going up no more. But it could be a possibility he might go up to fight Canelo if Canelo chooses him. right? If Canelo chooses him. Just like Canelo, the winner of Benavidez and Bubu Andre, Demetrius Andre, he has a choice. And this is what the hell I hate about this face of boxing. I keep saying I hate this face of boxing because now he has a choice. Now, let me ask you this question, because I really was going to do a thumbnail. I really was going to do this next video about it. But let's say Canelo don't chooses the winner and he fights Conor McGregor. You know that virus that was spread from Mayweather, rinse, rather, repeat, right? Because every step that Mayweather been doing, Canelo know how to do it too. He know when to fight this one and that one. He also, what Mayweather didn't do, because he never lost, he know where to lose, when to lose, and how to lose in order to stay on top. He lost at 175. He came back down. He's still the face of boxing. And this is the thing I don't like. There's a face and there's a cash cow. Because Manny Pacquiao's fighting still. He ain't the face of boxing. These are cash cows. Let's not get this shit. Don't get delusional and twisted. This face of boxing shit is whack. I keep telling you that stuff. Stop saying that. There's cash cows. Canelo's a cash cow. Mayweather's a cash cow. Pacquiao's a cash cow. There's certain people out there that's cash cows, okay? And even people that's I'm not going to even go through that with the KSI and all these other guys, Logan Paul. They're professional boxers. They're on BoxRec. And you want to call somebody face of boxing. Well, guess what? If they overdo certain other fighters, are they the face? That's why I said this shit is dotish and this shit is fucking rubbish. There's cash cows. So Canelo is a cash cow. That's it. You just cashed in. You got your check already, Charlo. What is it going to be? Is it going to be legacy? And if it's not legacy, is it just rebuilding your name? Going down, back to 154 and fighting your IBF Manatory. And if not, and you get stripped, well, hey, it is what you just, to me, you're stunting your growth, man. Because if it's about you want to be known and your legacy and all this shit, try to be two-time undisputed, man. It's right there for you. All you have to do is take the fight with Tim Tszyu. Just take the fight. What did he got to offer? I'm telling you what he got to offer. But no, it's more about the money. You just made your money, man. And you could make more if you become two-time and fight Crawford that wants you. Crawford don't want you. But now you're going to make him want you because you became two-time if you win. Are you going to bet on yourself? Black American stud. Yo, I'm out of here. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here for you to read between the lines. It's not what they say. It's what they're not saying. I'm out. Oh, yeah, like, share, subscribe. Whatever.